Hello, welcome to Oceanic Oracle. My name is Ari and today I'm filming my massive unhaul, for May. I am moving countries in August. I have been going through my shelves and I have 4 bags worth of books. Well, technically it's like 3 and an extra book that I've just thrown into another bag. But I have 4 bags worth of books to go through. Even though my shelves don't look any different, but trust me, they are. I used to have piles of books on shelves that you cannot see, and I've also gone through some stuff in my romance shelf. Those aren't unhauled. I've already sent them. I've sent them to my mum already. I'm just gonna go through all this stuff. I'm not gonna go into like massive detail as to what they are because there are so many books. And there's no way I could feasibly do that for all of them. I'll just tell you a general reason why I didn't like it. It could be a theme in the books. It could be I just haven't picked them up in a year, or I DNF'd it and I didn't feel like reading it again. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so bag number 1 with the single book. The first book I'm getting rid of is the Chronicles of Narnia. So this contains all 7 books in the Chronicles of Narnia. I haven't picked this up in so long, and honestly I don't think I'm going to pick it up again, or at least not anytime soon. I've had this since 2013, I believe. I've had it for a long time. I haven't picked it up in years, and also tons of misogyny in here. That's getting donated. Hopefully it brings someone else a bit of joy, but it's not coming with me. Now on to the first full bag. The first book I have in here is one that I talked about in my April wrap up, and that is The Last Wish. I read snippets of this and I just wasn't vibing with it, so I DNF'd it. I don't really feel like this sort of thing is interesting to me. If I want to pick it up again, I can always get it on my Kindle, because I'm sure buying it on my Kindle and buying the series, if I enjoy it later on Kindle, would be better for my wallet anyway. So yeah, that's going. The next few books are the Percy Jackson series. I have new editions and I don't need to keep these old ones. Aside from the Percy Jackson books, I also have all of the Heroes of Olympus books in here. As you can see, I have new editions and I don't want to keep the old ones. They're really big and bulky. I prefer to have the new ones with the character designs on the cover. So I'm giving away all of the Heroes of Olympus series. The 3 books that aren't in any of those things. The first one is a classic. It's Tender as the Night by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I don't really like F. Scott Fitzgerald as an author. I have become more aware of where the ideas for his work came from. If you aren't aware, it's rumoured that he stole quite a lot of his stories from his wife's diary. It just doesn't appeal to me. I'm sure someone else will enjoy this book, but I'm not really interested, and also I'm also trying to cut down on the amount of classics I have, because I have a lot. The next book I'm giving away is Thorn. I've read it once and I don't think I'm going to pick it up again, so I'm giving it away. And also How We Fall Apart. I liked this book, but I tend not to reread thrillers because once I know where the twist is, it doesn't really appeal to me to reread it, and I'm sure someone else will really enjoy this book and will really feel it, will really enjoy it. That's all of the books in that one bag. The next bag that I have, it's a massive duffel bag full, so I'm gonna do my best to go through these as quickly as possible. First book here, Alex the Griffin. Again, another book I talked about in April. I don't like it, not a fan of it. I'm sure someone else will want to pick it up for less money. Next book that I'm giving away is Music and Freedom. This was a book that I read for university. For my college, we had a literature dinner. I enjoyed it when I read it, but I don't think I'm going to pick it up again. So that's being donated. And honestly, I haven't seen much of Zoe Morrison's work here in Hong Kong. So I'm sure if someone really enjoys it, then they will discover a new favourite author. Next book, The Odyssey of Homer. This is my university's edition of the Odyssey. I have a better translated version that I like more, and yeah, I'm sure another student or another classics enthusiast will want to pick this up. So there we go, I'm not keeping that one. I don't need more than one copy of it. The next book that I'm giving away is Mythos. I have other Greek myth compilations. I have one that I got in Santorini, this one here, which I have read to death, but I prefer this to this. It's just personal preference. Stephen Fry is a great author. I prefer a different version of the same sort of principle. The next book that I'm giving away is Silence of the Girls. I enjoyed this. I have books similar to this, 1,000 Ships. I have 1,000 Ships in the UK by Natalie Haynes. I also have other renditions, and I think if I want to reread this again, I'll probably just purchase it on my Kindle. I'm sure there's someone out there who really enjoys the classics who will really appreciate this book being in a charity shop. So there we go. The next book that I am donating is Kafka on the Shore. This was my sister had to read this for school. I thought I was going to pick it up. I didn't. So I think if I'm going to check out Murakami, I am going to try it on the Kindle, because I think that reading stuff like this on an ebook is easier for me. It's something about the font and also the font size, because like I don't know, I'm dyslexic, so there are quite a few things. If I don't like a certain book's font size or the actual font of the book, it puts me off reading it, and that's what this book did. So I'd rather purchase it on Kindle so I could read it in the future. Next book I'm getting rid of is The Other Bennet Sister. I enjoyed this book, but I'm not going out of my way to reread it. This book follows Mary Bennet, so Pride and Prejudice, the Bennet sisters. Mary Bennet is the introvert out of the whole family. I enjoyed it while I read it. It was quite emotional, but I'm probably not going to pick it up again. Like, I'm sure someone else who loves Pride and Prejudice would like to pick it up. So there we go, that's getting donated. Next book I am donating is Batgirl, the comic. I have had this in my collection for so long, and honestly, as much as I enjoy Batgirl, I could definitely go and pick it up again. I can definitely go and pick it up again if I want to, but I don't see the point in me keeping it. So there we go. Next book I'm getting rid of is She Who Became the Sun. I enjoyed this, but I don't think I'm going to pick it up again. I am actually going to be giving this to my dad. So this is actually going to be given to someone who I know will definitely enjoy the history behind it. I don't even know if he's watching, but he's going to be getting this one. He enjoys history, and I think he would like this story. I just don't need it on my shelves anymore. I don't think I'm going to reread it, so there we go. I'm also giving away my copy of Clara and the Sun. I really enjoyed this when I read it. I think I read it at the end of last year, and I just don't think I'm going to reread it. So yeah, there we go. Like, most of these just boil down to me not, like, I'm not going to reread something. If I've read it and I'm going to reread it, I know I'm going to keep it. I am giving away this book on owls that I've had. I've had this for a while. I have taken as much as I can out of it. I think it's really interesting to me, but I don't know if my shop will actually take it, so I might have to look into that. So I might be keeping that, might be giving it away, who knows. I am giving away my copy of Rebecca. I have done some research, and I believe I can, from what I can tell on my Audible account, I can actually listen to this on Audible, which I think is actually probably a better idea. Something about this, like something about the font sort of puts me off. I haven't picked it up since 2020. If I haven't picked it up in the last like year, it's gone. So it's gone. The next few books are like Percy Jackson companion novels. So you have The Ultimate Guide, The Demigod Files, and The Demigod Diaries. I've read all these before. There's not much point in me keeping them. I've read all of them, and I know exactly what it's going to be on about. I'd rather keep the actual books themselves than like that stuff. Next few books, The Cat Who Saved Books. I enjoyed this when I read it. I don't think I'm going to reread it. I'm not a big rereader of literary fiction, and I'm sure lots of other people will enjoy this. K-pop Confidential. I read a bit of this in September, I think. I'm a bit old for this sort of stuff, and I think lots of people nowadays would actually be interested in picking this up. I'm going to be giving that away. And moving on, I'm also giving away The Party Crasher. I read a bit of this and I didn't enjoy it, so yeah, for some reason this sort of threw me off at the beginning, so I DNF'd it. I'm giving away A Message of the Oceans. I have read it. I think this is really important to share this woman's story. If people are interested in sort of like marine life and non-fiction, they should definitely check this book out. I really enjoyed reading this, but mind you, I am a marine biologist, so there is that. And yeah, there we go. So Sea Change is getting donated. I'm sure lots of other people will enjoy it. Next book I'm giving away, Kazuo Ishiguro's A Pale View of Hills. I read this in January. It's literary fiction. I'm not going to reread it, so being donated. And yeah, that is all that's in that bag. Now I'm going to pause this video so I can repack everything that's out here, because it's all over the floor. I have one bag left and I want to be organised and not leave myself a mess to clean up. So you'll see me immediately, but I'm probably going to take about 5 minutes rearranging this bag. So there we go. And last but definitely not least, we have the last tote bag full. 2 books in here that are not like books, they're music books. I'm a singer and I have all the songs that I need like on paper copies, so these are being donated. Another series that I am getting rid of is the Cruel Prince series. I enjoyed these when I read them. I reread The Cruel Prince pretty recently, and honestly, it didn't really compare to when I read it the first time. I think someone else is going to really enjoy these, and like, I don't see the point in me keeping them just for the sake of like, oh, I think I'm going to be in the mood again, because I have so many other books that I want to get to. And yeah, so those are being donated. Read this if you want to take great photos of people. I haven't read this, and honestly, I don't think I am ever going to read this, so that's getting donated. Frankenstein, I read this in January. I enjoyed it. I haven't written in it, but I know for a fact that this is included on Audible, and they have a very good production, which is true to what's in here. So if I want to revisit Frankenstein, I'm just going to do that. I have the Amber Spyglass. I have my other 2 copies. I just have multiple copies of this, and I don't see the point in me having like multiple copies. So yeah, there's that. 2 other classics. Journey to the Centre of the Earth by Jules Verne. I haven't touched this in like over a year, so no point in me keeping that. The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I read this in October. I read this some point. I know I read this when I watched the US Open final, so tennis. I'm not a big fan of like the horror genre or like horror science fiction blend. I'm not a fan of it, so donated. And the last 2 books that I have in this bag are also Percy Jackson like editions or collections, I believe. So Percy Jackson and the Greek Gods, and Percy Jackson and the Greek Heroes. These are both massive editions. I've read them and I don't see the point in me like keeping them. Percy Jackson's always fun, but I think honestly I'd rather just have my like the actual story collection, and if I really want these in the future I can always go and repurchase them. They're not going to be going away from shelves anytime soon. But yeah, there we go. Those are the last 2 books that I have that I am donating. That feels like no time at all, like compared to how long I spent sitting in front of my bookshelf, staring at it, making decisions. I still have to go through it again. I'm probably going to do another unhaul in June and July prior to me packing everything away. that's life, and I'm going to be moving countries soon, so I really have to only take what I want, and I think that's really important. So I am sort of stripping back as much as I can in regards to book series that I know that I probably won't read again, or books that like I haven't read since I bought them, which does play a factor. That is everything, and my shelves look the exact same. Most of these changes have come from like my top shelves and like the 2 bottom shelves, because I have 2 shelves below me, and that's where most of the difference comes from. I mean, aside from my romance shelf. But if you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe if you want more bookish content. I am aiming to do one of these like once a month for the next coming months. I just have to work out how to get these to the charity shop, but oh, that's a lot. It's a lot. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe if you want more bookish content. I hope you have a wonderful day or night, depending on when you're watching this. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.